thing ever. And the way that they do it too, like the sub bending things, they even do like one for fire. Like, so I remember like super boomy exploding guy, like this thing. They brought a girl that can do the same thing too.
Boomy boom or
yeah,
whatever his name was.
Yeah, and so they bring that back. They don't bring back lightning bending, but that's okay. It's not that big of a deal.
Lightning's cool, but I mean they were using it throughout the entire series, so I don't feel bad that it was left behind.
Yeah. But Legend of Korra, they had the fight scenes like were unreal. Like they're just so
I need to watch that one because Avatar: The Last Airbender came out in early 2000s.
Oh
so,
yeah,
so you would have.
A lot of my friends.
So Cable, you would have missed it.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, you need to go back and watch Avatar. Like you need to go see it.
It's a very well written show.
Yeah, it's beyond anything you could think of. Like it's so smart on a level that shouldn't be as smart as it is. Legend of Korra is good, but by the time they get to the last season where they start getting very pro LGBT in a kid's cartoon,
I'm so sick of that. I'm so sick of everybody's agenda getting shoved down our throats. It's like, let us enjoy something. Like all the superheroes are being turned into gays or women or everything. I'm just like, just create another superhero. Please, just create a new one. Make them gay. Make them a woman.
I get the idea that they want to have like everyone represented because it's. I mean, if you're
that's cool.
If you're a kid,
that's what I'm saying. Throw in a new
with
character.
Sexual identity, and you see somebody that's like you, I'm sure that's really.
Yeah, they can identify with that. I mean, there's like some kid. There was a kid that was deaf and had to have a cochlear implant.
Yeah.
And they went and made a superhero that was deaf and had abilities based off of his deafness.
Who's that?
I can't remember who it is and which industry made it, but they made a superhero for that kid.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really cool.
Wait, Zach Morris.
Time out.
Okay. If you can pick any superpower, what would it be?
Any superpower?
Any superpower. You can make it up or you can steal one.
I don't know. Like, we were talking the other night about Harry Potter because we're big Harry Potter fans. And we were trying to come up with like why we're trying to explain why the unforgivable curses were the way that they were. And so I was talking with Angel last night when we were eating dinner, and I came up with my own curse. It's the unforgivable of unforgivable curse. It's a curse where you hit somebody and like a blood streak lightning hits you, and then it intensifies all of your sensory things, and you're unable to feel pleasure. Whenever you feel pleasure, it's excruciating pain. And the spell is called Expecto Excruciatus. It's irreversible, and it binds to your soul. So even if you die, you still feel pain.
Wow.
It's the worst thing ever.
Oh, man. That's dark.
Oh my gosh, right? Isn't that like like when you kill somebody, like, oh great, whatever, they died. But when you tell them like you're gonna feel excruciating pain, like anytime you're trying to feel something pleasurable, it just
From
comes.
Now till the end
yeah,
of time.
like I've just ruined sex for the rest of your life. I've ruined ice cream for the rest of your life, and when you die, it still sucks.
Well, because I remember we were sitting there talking about it. It was we were talking about the unforgivable curses, and then we were talking about unforgettable curses.
They're forgivable, but they definitely won't forget you. They're the unforgettable. And like the example we used was like we were going to turn your urine into pure alcohol. So from like the time it leaves your kidneys from your ureters to your bladder to you pee out, it just feels like you're pissing razor blades. So, like, when you think of like superpowers, you want something that's going to be helpful, something that's going to be advantageous for you. But like, it's kind of like when you have friends that know how to build computers, like you're their tech guy. If you have super strength, guess who's getting called to every moving job you ever have to do? It's like, we got 4 grand pianos, really? Why do you have 4 grand pianos? So you can move them.
The one thing I like to think about is they've always talked about super strength, and even though you have super strength, you don't have super bone density.
Yeah.
Even though you can have the strength to punch through a brick wall, your bones don't have the strength to survive the brick wall punching.
No, yeah, they don't really focus on that.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I mean, it's superpowers. You live in a weird world, so
know, yeah,
that's
yeah.
like you have to kind of just understand the
Blur the
rules.
lines a little bit.
Personally, I think this is kind of evil of me, but I think that the Purple Man from Daredevil, I think he probably has the coolest power ever. Like, do you guys ever you watch Daredevil,
I'm
right?
trying to remember what exactly his power was.
So
Refresh my
his
memory.
power was that he could make you do whatever he wanted you to do by saying something. So if like in the comics, he just looked, and when Jessica Jones meets her for the first time, he just says, "Stop, stay quiet, pull down your top," and she just like just like pulls it down.
So it's like a comic book version of like the Force, basically, right?
Yeah, it's very. But like the guy, because he spent his whole life not knowing whether people were just doing something because they wanted to do it or doing it because he told them to do it. Like he just became very amoral. Like he had no sense of like good or evil, like or even a conscience of things. Yeah. And so if you thought about it, like, you know, if you used it for your own devices, because it's a very selfish power to have, but it's like going, give me $1 million, and like people just give you $1 million. Yeah. It's like, and if you know, if you were really devious, you can just go to any girl you want and be like, show me your boobs.
Yeah.
And they just do it. And then it's like, hey, you can't do it. Yes, I can. Yeah, he can do that.
So it's okay. So,
So, I mean,
what?
like-
Okay, what? So it's a mutant power.
His
It's not the power of persuasion like they use in that Wolverine.
His was
bullshit.
done experimentally. It wasn't a mutant power, but I mean, if it was, I mean, we're talking about superpowers. We're not saying like it's. I mean, Superman's not a mutant, but he's got powers.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking superpowers, not specifically mutant.
Yeah, and Captain America's got vaguely defined powers, but he's not a mutant.
Well, see, Captain
throwing,
America's
super
his
jumping,
superpowers
super
is he can run fast,
Yeah,
he can jump pretty high, but I haven't seen him dunk
that's right.
because he's white.
It's true.
Yeah,
Yeah, LBJ's got it all over him. Kobe.
and he's got the shield that acts as a boomerang, even though it just doesn't. Not really sure how it comes back to him, but.
It's like Falcon, you know. Like he just has this
It's the vibranium. He throws it just right and it bounces back.
Well, okay, so in the comics, the way that they explain how it comes back to him is that the super soldier serum augments everything. So that's why he's a master strategic guy. Is that Steve Rogers was already a very intelligent guy, as we saw in the first movie,
now
where
he's a
when they were like having to
master
climb the
strategist,
pole, instead of like climbing the pole, he just
Pulls
like
the
pulled
pin and
get
knocks
these
it down,
things.
yeah.
So the super soldier serum augments those types of things. And so part of like the things, he's got incredible muscle memory. So when he throws something and he figures out how to be able to do it, his body can react and remember and recall those types of things. So the shield is an extension of his super soldier serum. So when he throws it, he can throw it in places and throw it in a specific way that the shield is able to bounce off and come back to him. So that is how that movie is explained, how it's a boomerang. If me and you threw that thing, it would.
If we could actually.
Yeah, it would be like us playing frisbee golf. It would just, you know, wave across, come over this way. Wouldn't do anything at all, but because it's Steve Rogers and it's movie
But Steve
magic.
Rogers, remember,
Yeah.
his number one ability is the power of handsome.
That's true. He is dreamy.
Oh, man.
I mean,
Think about those
I have
biceps
to
right
hesitate
now.
to say no to a gay experience with that.
So he's flaming.
It's like, I thought about it. You know, this would be the best day of my life if that did it for me.
Oh, man. Well, my superpower would be the power to fill up my blue moon without having to get my ass up.
Oh, that's
Yes, my superpower. Tyler?
You know, mine is kind of along the lines of his.
You can't do that, man.
No,
He's already
what
got
I'm saying
dibs on
is-
it.
With Professor X. I love Professor X's powers to be able to find people, identify people, send thoughts, and
McAvoy's.
read thoughts. I would love that ability to be able to read somebody's mind and potentially influence them or control them.
Right.
You know,
I was thinking that, I was like, yeah, I like this. It's like, he went with the purple guy.
it kind of made me want. Actually, I was kind of mad though. You know, watching McAvoy as the young Professor X. I was thinking, oh sweet, I wonder if this is gonna be the time where
powers
you
only
see
work when his
where
fingers go to
where
his head.
well because he's gonna use his power to woo this woman in bed. which would be kind of like rape, wouldn't it? Because even though she's verbally saying, take me, Charles, take me.
As soon as you see a guy in a polo shirt and like yacht shoes or something, it's like an unwritten agreement. We agree to have aggressive sex, and I'm dead in a pool the next day.
Professor X,
He probably has like the top 3. I would take his power.
Yeah, I love Professor X. And
Yeah, exactly. Because you don't even need roofies. You just have the power of non-consensual sexual relations.
That it was consensual.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the idea, especially with heroes, is that the people that have these powers are altruistic in their intents of using it. So clearly having these powers, if you thought about it, and even on an evil scale, like this is incredibly invasive to read somebody's thoughts. I mean, it would be really uncomfortable knowing that you could see all of my dark demon secrets that I have in my mind, and that you just have access to them, and I have no ability to keep you out.
Unless you're Magneto and have a metal helmet.
Yeah. That's true. Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon, man.
that was a
What a score for that franchise, right?
Yeah.
I was just thinking, like, Kevin Bacon. How is Kevin Bacon? I love that movie, though. I mean, I don't think it got completely shit on in the reviews, but
It got pretty well shit on.
I thought First Class was pretty.
I just saw a lot. Some people did.
I think the thing that kind of ruined it a little bit though was, what was that one dude, the one brother that had he had like the power to manipulate, like to adapt to survive.
Oh, yes.
So he can turn into a fish. Darwin.
It's like something.
So
There was a
Adapt to
misstep
survive,
killing
yeah.
the black guy in
Yeah,
the movie.
they
There
killed
was a
the- they
misstep.
killed the black guy. Yes.
yeah. So
Especially because he does exist in the X-Men universe. And
Okay, is he black in the X-Men
Yeah, he
universe?
is.
Okay.
Yeah, the problem is that they introduced him really late in the series. Like he did have a couple of runs, but when they did the whole House of M, when Scarlet Witch basically just spoke the words "No more mutants," like he was one of the people that lost their mutant abilities. So, like, it was kind of a fallout for those things. But they wanted to establish a team, and it's kind of the Coulson theory where you have to have a sacrifice that helps unify the team together. And it's great the fact that, like, yeah, the black guy died, but he's the reason why they formed a full X-Men team that became very cohesive, and it wasn't just like a drunk Mystique going, "You're Professor X, and you're Magneto." And